If your goal is to improve your English skills and learn more about life in the United States, then today's lesson is for you. I'm taking you on a special road trip from the state of North Carolina all the way to my hometown of Buffalo, New York. During this trip, we'll have the opportunity to go to my best friend's wedding, and we'll visit one of the most famous natural wonders of the world, Niagara Falls. I know this is a vacation, but you're here to learn, right? So, as always, I've created a free PDF for this lesson. You're going to learn a lot of general vocabulary for everyday speaking and writing, and you'll also learn some specific terms that are useful for traveling in the US. So anytime you see a box like this, check the PDF for definitions, example sentences, pictures, etc. We have a very long drive ahead of us, so let's get started. We left North Carolina around 5 a.m., and it takes about 12 hours to drive to Buffalo from here. So we're on the road, and I'm sitting in the back seat of the car. My husband, Sahil, volunteered to drive for the first part of this trip. My friend Bart is sitting in the front passenger seat, and I have my dog, Gouda, with me in the back. Road trips are a big part of the typical American travel experience. In many parts of the country, you need a car to get around. We're currently driving on I-77, or Interstate 77. The interstate system is a network of highways that connect cities and states across the United States, making it much easier to travel long distances by car. The interstates go across the entire country, connecting the East Coast to the West Coast and the North to the South. The highways are numbered in a specific way. Even-numbered highways like I-40 or I-90 generally run east-west, while odd-numbered highways like I-95 or I-17 run north-south. This helps drivers know the general direction they're going. Traveling on the interstates is the fastest way to drive long distances in the US. The roads are wide with multiple lanes, and there are a lot of rest stops, gas stations, and fast food restaurants along the way. The interstate system is essential for the US economy because this is the primary way that companies transport products from one part of the country to another. We're entering the Appalachia region of the US. This is sometimes pronounced as Appalachia, but in my experience, if you talk to locals who were born in this region, they don't pronounce it this way. My father was born in this region, and he spent his early childhood years in the small town of Wytheville, Virginia. I have a lot of relatives in this town. This region is called Appalachia because of the Appalachian mountain range, which covers part of 13 states. Because of the higher elevation, it's really foggy here, which is beautiful, but it can be a little scary if you're not used to driving in conditions like this.
You can't see anything.
Driving through the mountains here can be dangerous sometimes, especially if you drive a large truck like this. In the US, we typically call this an 18-wheeler or a semi-truck. In Appalachia, you can find escape ramps. These are designed for large trucks that may lose control of their brakes while going downhill. Escape ramps go uphill, and this helps the driver stop the truck quickly and safely. These ramps are essential for preventing accidents on the highway. This is a beautiful region with a very rich history and culture. For a long time, the economy here depended on industries like coal mining and logging, or cutting down trees. These industries used to provide a lot of jobs and money, but unfortunately, times have changed. This is because of things like new technology, cheaper energy sources such as natural gas, and stricter rules about the environment. As coal mines have closed, many people lost their jobs and were forced to move away from the region to find work. As we exit this tunnel, you'll see that we have just crossed the border into the state of West Virginia.
Welcome to West Virginia, wild and wonderful.
Even though the region of Appalachia faces big challenges, there are efforts to make things better. In recent years, people have been working to diversify the economy. This includes things like tourism. The Appalachian Mountains attract visitors for activities like hiking and exploring national parks. Soon after we left West Virginia, we went to another rest stop in Pennsylvania. And as we move farther north, you'll start to see fewer mountains and more open farmland, and eventually cities and suburbs. 12 hours later, and finally, we're back in the place where I was born and raised. Buffalo is located in the western part of the state of New York, very close to the border with Canada. It's on the eastern shore of Lake Erie, one of the 5 Great Lakes. Buffalo is the second largest city in New York State. The largest is New York City. Buffalo is a much smaller city that has more in common with other cities around the Great Lakes. It's a little more relaxed here, and there's a stronger sense of community. Buffalo is known for 3 things. Number 1, snow. Yeah, Buffalo is one of the snowiest cities in the country. Number 2, Buffalo-style chicken wings. People who live here just call them wings. Wings were invented at a local restaurant called the Anchor Bar in the 1960s. And this restaurant is still extremely popular. Number 3 are very passionate sports fans. There are 2 professional sports teams here: the Buffalo Bills for American football and the Buffalo Sabres for hockey. Unfortunately, they don't always win, but true fans never stop supporting their teams.
Let's go, Buffalo! Let's go, Buffalo! Let's go, Buffalo! Let's go, Buffalo! Yeah, let's go!
So now, why am I here? Well, my friends Jessica and John are getting married. A typical American wedding has 2 main parts. First, there's the ceremony, and then there's the reception. So let's go to the ceremony. I would say this was somewhat non-traditional because only very close family and friends were invited to the ceremony. Also, it was held at a very unique location. Jessica and John got married in a beautiful Japanese garden behind the Buffalo History Museum. This location was absolutely perfect because it reflects their personalities so well. Traditionally, the bride and the groom choose a small group of people to support them on their wedding day. This small group is called the wedding party. The bridesmaids are the bride's closest female friends or family members. And you have the same thing with men on the groom's side, but they are called groomsmen.
You, John, take Jessica, your wedded wife, cherish love and friendship, strength and weakness, success and disappointment, love her faithfully, today, tomorrow, for as long as you shall live.
Traditionally, after the bride and the groom both say, "I do," the person who marries the couple typically says to the groom, "You may now kiss the bride." But instead, he says something else.
Now pronounce husband and wife, please celebrate how you see fit.
That basically means, do whatever you want now. After the ceremony was finished, the wedding party stayed behind to take some pictures with a professional photographer. Bridesmaids usually help the bride plan and organize events, and generally make sure that the day is fun and stress-free for the bride. I had the great honor of being a bridesmaid with 2 of Jessica's sisters and 3 good friends.
Okay, heard it. Am I ready? Do it. No clue. Ah! Yay.
We took some classic photos and some funny photos.
That looks so cute in his arms. Arms.
Superman.
You guys gotta pick him up.
Look, everybody look my way. Yes. All right.
Very good.
You're with him. Alright.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
After that, it was time to go to the reception, which is the celebration with drinks, dinner, and dancing. The reception was held at a popular Italian restaurant, and this is where more people were invited. Usually, the reception begins with cocktail hour, where people chat and enjoy a few drinks. Then it's time to eat. Our dinner for the evening was a buffet. Yes, the T is silent in buffet. This is where you can choose what you want to eat, and you can take as much as you want. After dinner comes dessert. Traditionally, the bride and the groom cut the cake together. After that, the bride and the groom have their first dance. And like true professionals, you always get back up after you fall.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time I have to invite the first man in Jessica's life to join her on the dance floor. It is time for the traditional father and daughter dance.
Then the DJ starts playing some more music and invites everyone to the dance floor for the rest of the evening. I wish I recorded more, but at this point, I already had too much alcohol to hold the camera. One thing that I love about Buffalo is that it takes less than 30 minutes to drive to Niagara Falls.
Okay, so we are at Niagara Falls State Park in the city of Niagara Falls, New York.
There are actually 3 main waterfalls located on the border between the US and Canada. On the American side, there's the American Falls and Bridal Veil Falls, which is much smaller. A veil is something that many brides wear on their heads. Today, we're gonna see the largest and the most famous of the 3 waterfalls. This one is called Horseshoe Falls because it's shaped like a horseshoe. This is mostly on the Canadian side, but you can still get a good view from the US. You can also go on a boat tour that will take you much closer to the falls. I would definitely recommend this. All right, so down here, that's the Niagara River. That leads to Niagara Falls, right here. And on the other side, that's Canada. Beautiful day. It's very windy though. I already lost my hat twice.
Oh, you're gonna fly away.
So there's another area where you can see the falls, and if you look closely, there's a rainbow. It's our lucky day.
Oh, that's a double ramp.
We had a great time, but now it's time to drive all the way back to North Carolina. Thank you so much for joining me on this adventure. If you enjoyed it, please like this video and subscribe to my channel. If you'd like to see more vlogs like this, please let me know in the comments. I'm Gina, this is Your World in English, and I'll see you in the next lesson. Bye!